One of the things that I have not done very well in the past, which I'm going to try and fix today and starting this year, is my number talks. Gunnar, you said you've done number talks before?
Maybe.
All right, tell me about them. You remember anything about them?
Not really.
Man, you had a boring teacher who wasn't very interesting. Yes, sir.
It's where the teacher says like this number, and then everybody has to figure out a different way to get to that number.
Okay, so there's that way of the number talk. What else do we have for number talk? Yes, ma'am.
We just put a problem on the board and we all solved it in our head. And then we all figured out the ways to solve it.
Awesome. That's exactly what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to put some problems on the board. We're going to talk about how you solved it. And we'll discuss the different people and how they solved it. Some people, when you solve a problem, you might count on your toes or on your fingers, or you might write it down and work it out. Some of you can do it in your head. But you have to be able to talk through a little bit about how you solved it. Okay, so you got to be able to explain, I solved it is not an answer. I solved it is not an answer. That's really not very clear, I don't think. I solved it is not an answer. And when we do these, we'll learn some strategies that will help you. Number talks are essentially trying to help you think through and have some logic so that you can do some of this work in your head. All right, so our first problem, don't yell out the answer. Let's just look at it. We have the sum of 8 and 2. The sum of 8 and 2. Tatum,
10.
how did you get that?
Because, a different way to solve that is 5 plus 5.
Okay, different way to solve it. So you just kind of changed it a little bit to a different problem. Yes, sir.
2 plus 8?
2 plus 8. Okay. Did y'all know it was 10?
Yes.
Anybody in here have to really work on finding out it was 10? So everybody in here was good finding it was 10. All right. What if I changed it to 2? The sum of 2, 4, and 8. The sum of 2, 4, and 8. Mia,
It's 14.
how did you do it?
Okay, so I started off with 2 plus 8 because I find that easier.
Okay.
And then that would be 10, and then I added the 4.
Good. Okay. How did you do it, sir?
4 plus 8 plus 2.
Okay, so you just moved them around. Anybody remember what that property is where in addition to multiplication you can do it in any order, what it's called? Yes, sir?
Commutative?
Commutative?
Beautiful.
Maybe commutative? I don't remember. You guys have to look it up and tell me. So I was hoping one of y'all knew. Yes, sir?
The number family?
Okay, okay. And that works with multiplication and division. So it's one of those commutative, additive, or something like that. I'm not sure which, so one of you can tell me tomorrow when you look it up. The sum of 8, 3, and 2. The sum of 8, 3, and 2. Nicholas.
It is 13 because added 8, and 2 because that's the easiest way to get to 10. And you have to think a little bit with 8 plus 3, and then I added 3 to that 10.
Awesome. All right. Yes, Ricky? Ricky, right? No, not Ricky. That's Ricky. You're Logan. I should remember that.
I added 2 plus 3 and that's 5, and then I did 5 plus 8 and that's 13.
Okay. Now, when we get bigger numbers, can you use this same strategy? I mean, if we had 18 plus 13 plus 12, could we use the same strategy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because 18 and 12 is going to equal what?
30.
30.
Yeah.
When we're adding numbers, trying to get zeros in the ones place makes it easier to check them in your head. So looking for zeros in the ones place, then it makes it much easier that way. So that's kind of what we're talking about in this particular number talk, is working on figuring out what numbers we can put together so that it makes it easier to check the work in our head or even do the work in our head. So that's basically what the number talks are about. We did this morning in my last class, I think we did 7, 3, and 6. What are our numbers we should do first in that one to get us a 0 in our ones place? Yes, ma'am.
6 and 3.
Will 6 and 3 get us a 0 in the ones place? No? Hannah? 7 plus 3 will give us a 0 in the ones place. Again, that gives us 10. So if we can change the order, and we can do that on addition, and we can do that on multiplication. Can we do that on subtraction? No. Because if I do 75 minus 4, that's not the same as 4 minus 75. Right? If you have $4 and you spend $75, it's not the same as having $75 and spending $4. Okay, so it will work with addition and it will work with multiplication. See what we're doing there? We're adding some thinking process that you can use, and when you're doing some math school and you're thinking in your head, getting those zeros in your ones place, and even as the numbers get bigger, maybe a 0 in the tens place and ones place, which makes the math easier to do in your head. My dad does that stuff in his head all the time. He's like Rain Man, where he just can tell you the addition, sum of things just by doing a lot of these little tricks in his head. So anyway, that's cool, man. All right, today